Prix. Ferrari take the opening salvo in 2018. Vettel wins from Hamilton. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year, with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21-race calendar, and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' fourth Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Harris, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Perez, and Kevin Magnussen. Grosjean, Ocon, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc, Gasly, Hartley, Marcus Ericsson, and Lance Stroll. Sirotkin and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
It's lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Hamilton. Raikkonen comes across, cuts off Sebastian Vettel. Verstappen's in the hunt as well. Hamilton will lead them into turn 1, and there goes Kimi Raikkonen ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Great start from Kevin Magnussen. He's got ahead there of Max Verstappen.
Congratulations, they all appear to have got through turn 1 and 2. Look at Raikkonen advancing down the outside into turn 3. Good speed he had in the Ferrari there.
Hamilton having to hold off the challenge of Kimi Raikkonen, didn't quite make it. Hamilton can be on top of the world today. It's lights out and away we go, and Hamilton makes an incredible start from third on the grid. He's already ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, and he's now going wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel alongside Ricciardo, Hülkenberg and Sainz scrapping it out. Verstappen on the inside leads into turn 1 ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas alongside Daniel Ricciardo and ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Verstappen has gone from second to lead into turn 1, and there is Fernando Alonso going very wide and contact right at the rear.
And we see Ricciardo getting away slowly there, and Hamilton saw his opportunity, seized it immediately. Now they're all in the slipstream, and Bottas thinking he's going to get involved.
And once again, it looks like wheel gun problem, or a wheel not being attached. It's the front left this time, not the rear left, but they were waving their hands saying, no, don't release, and the car still went away. So Sebastian Vettel is coming in. Game you can make in a virtual safety car is that the pit lane isn't part of the racetrack. Sebastian Vettel is going to come out. So Sebastian Vettel is coming in. Game you can make in a virtual safety car is that the pit lane isn't part of the racetrack. Sebastian Vettel is going to come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton here. Hamilton has to adhere to the virtual safety car time. Vettel didn't have to adhere to that because he's under the pit lane rules and regulations, and he is ahead now of Lewis Hamilton.
What just happened, guys? Why didn't you tell me Vettel was in the pits? What happened, guys?
We're just reviewing Lewis.
Was that my mistake, or was I supposed to be going quick between safety car 1 line?
Negative.
Congratulations, they all appear to have got through turn 1 and 2. Look at Raikkonen advancing down the outside into turn 3. Good speed he had in the Ferrari there.
Hamilton having to hold off the challenger. Kimi Raikkonen didn't quite make it.
And, so you can see the graining, the sort of dull area there.
Carlos Sainz has stopped at turn 13. It's the Renault of Carlos Sainz who might well be out of this race, and we've got a virtual safety car.
And for once, the Ferrari didn't pirouette with contact on its front tyre.
Oh, look, he's got a bit of front wing from one of the Force Indias, from Esteban Ocon's car. That's where he made the contact the first time around. We get contact again.
No, he actually he didn't hit anybody. He just was on the receiving end.
After pitting in the Haas and after performing superbly well in the opening 22 laps of this race, Kevin Magnussen, by the looks of it, Martin, would you think one of those wheels isn't attached properly? One of the crew there just walking off and out of the garage.
Hang on, we've got another problem.
Another one, surely not. Roman Grosjean's pulled over to the side of the track. What is happening down at Haas this afternoon? What could have been one of their best weekends on a racetrack has turned into absolute disaster. Meanwhile, what's happening to Carlos Sainz in his battle with Fernando Alonso? Well, Sainz is taking the long way round onto the gravel. That's never going to win out that particular Spanish duel, and Alonso says thank you very much, I'll take the place off him. Who's that going very, very slowly? That's Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah, Fernando was so unlucky there because he really was. He saw it all unfolding. As ever, he drives with all of his radars switched on. You see Fernando in the first corner, and this is where Bottas he actually was contact there, and then he'll lock his tyre up going into turn 6. We'll see it now from Vettel's perspective.
Something's just broken on the car. They're clearing a space in the Force India garage.
We're just seeing a replay of it now, Ted.
Yeah.
Not only did something break on Perez's car, he nearly took out Kevin Magnussen as well. And, not deliberately, of course.
As the home hero drives into his garage, nose first.
Perez, Sainz and Alonso, the 3 Spanish speakers, all out of this race. And now Sebastian Vettel leads them down the Walker Straight, and we are underway in Australia once more. Vettel from Hamilton, then comes Raikkonen. After him is Max Verstappen, and Fernando Alonso still behind Max Verstappen. Ricciardo might be having a look at Hulkenberg, going down into turn 1, and Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, gets ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Great move there from Verstappen.
Verstappen was busy defending there, I think.
He was. There's Valtteri Bottas down the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn as well.
Sounds like Verstappen damaged his car when he had that leery spin across the grass.
Can I push yet?
Loses 2 places. Hamilton up to 3rd, Ricciardo to 4th. So, Sebastian Vettel pits, and it's a nice pit stop as well, as Verstappen now crosses the line and retakes the lead of this race.
This is not going to be straightforward to the end of this race, Max. Either 1, 2 stops.
And, so you can see the graining, the sort of dull area there.
Carlos Sainz has stopped at turn 13. It's the Renault of Carlos Sainz who might well be out of this race, and we've got a virtual... Does he mean the Force India and the Sauber?
Yeah, he means the back markers.
Lewis Hamilton racing Sebastian Vettel at this moment in time.
If they tangle, Hamilton needs to make sure they both hunt in terms of the championship.
Well, let's see. DRS range for Sebastian Vettel. Look how that Ferrari is gaining. He's going down the inside on Lewis Hamilton, and I don't think that was a very feisty defence from Lewis Hamilton there. Questions answered as Sebastian Vettel moves into 2nd place in this race.
Lewis came over to cover him off, but he realised he got more than enough speed to get through there. And look at the front wing of that Ferrari flapping around in the turbulent breeze. That's quite flexible, isn't it?
Yeah, turbulent breeze, I like that.
Yeah.
Something's just broken on the car. They're clearing a space in the Force India garage.
We're just seeing a replay of it now, Ted.
Yeah.
Not only did something break on Perez's car, he nearly took out Kevin Magnussen as well. And, You know, not deliberately, of course.
As the home hero drives into his garage, nose first.
Perez, Sainz and Alonso, the three Spanish speakers, all out of this race. Here comes Ricciardo this time. He's going to go around the outside. Hamilton locks up and goes deep and off into the runoff area and over the grass at turn 1.
So he went to cover him, left his space down the outside, and so busy watching the Red Bull, and that's a piece of grass Lewis knows quite well.
Yeah. It's the front left this time, not the rear left, but they were waving their hands saying, no, don't release, and the car still went away. So Sebastian Vettel is coming in. Gain that you can make in a virtual safety car is that the pit lane isn't part of the racetrack.
Realised he got more than enough speed to get through there. And the front wing of that Ferrari flapping around in the turbulent breeze. That's quite flexible, isn't it?
Yeah, turbulent breeze, I like that.
Yeah.
Roman Grosjean's pulled over to the side of the track. What is happening? Daniel Ricciardo, the man who's had more DNFs than any other driver this season, 7 of them in total. A puff of smoke there that he will not want to see, and 7 DNFs become 8. Max Verstappen's smile will be beaming. Verstappen wins.
5 seconds. Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. So Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Oh, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One, and that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes.